Okay, this is Orlando Wilson, and what I want to talk about in this early morning video is something I've touched on in other topics, and that's you must understand that other people will judge you by their experience, not your experience. And I'll expand on this a little bit. But you always must remember, when you're dealing with people, you've got to understand their experience to understand their perspectives of you. People will judge you by what they've done, what they've seen, where they've been, etc. And if you're dealing with people with limited life experience, this can be a little bit challenging. The other issue these days is a lot of people seem to live virtually. So their whole life experience is through Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, etc. So, as I said, you need to, if you're doing business with people, or even on a personal level, you have to gauge their experience to be able to tailor how you approach them, how you deal with them, etc. If you're going after them for contracts, if you're in the security business, close protection business, you're going after people for contracts, then again, they need to be, your proposals, your presentations need to be tailored to the people you're actually dealing with. Let me touch on that a little bit more for the security aspect of things, the close protection aspect of things. Now, you got to think about what's most people's experience of security personnel. You can tell people you're in the close protection business, executive protection business, etc., but most people won't understand. If you mention Bodyguard, they'll be thinking Kevin Costner. If you mention, once you clarify things and say to them, oh, I'm in the security business, even though the close protection business is a lot different than the man guarding business, everybody's going to put you in the same category as the guys and girls that stood outside the buildings in fluorescent jackets, right? Because that's most people's only experience of dealing with security people, the security business. You mentioned private investigators, they're thinking, I don't know, some movie somewhere, right? They're not thinking reality. And I've had this conversation a few times with people. And one of the big problems when you're approaching corporate clients, if you can get to the big corporate clients for close protection investigation services, is a lot of times that they can be jaded because they've already been, how can we put it, they've already paid for services and got garbage. Or, I don't say garbage, they didn't get what they were paying for or what they were expecting. Now, one of the issues, and I had this conversation with somebody very, very recently, the issue is when trying to get to or deal with most large corporations. Those corporations who have their own security managers. Could have been former police, could have been former military, etc. Could have been, might be. These days, a lot of times not. And these people are more facilities management than close protection. A lot of them have no close protection experience, have no clue about the close protection investigations business. They're facility management. They manage man guarding. The other issue is a lot of corporations these days don't even have security managers. They contract the security out. Now, if these people have a problem, if, let's say, mid-sized to large, small, mid-sized businesses have a problem as far as security investigations is concerned, a lot of times they will reach out to the people that provide them with site security. If they have a security manager, no worries. If their building has a security manager, they'll reach out to them. If they have a contract security company providing security for their offices, they'll reach out to the managers of that contract security company. Why? Because these people are the only people they come into contact with that are in the security business. So this is where a lot of times when clients need close protection services, they're getting security guards in suits because they're not reaching out to proper close protection companies. They're reaching out to their man guarding companies. Why? It's easier for them to find. The other thing, again, this is the conversation I had recently, very recently. The gentleman was like, okay, but I don't even have security. I said, well, how did he found me through other means? But he said, no, went to my lawyer, and my lawyer recommended somebody, recommended an ex-cop or recommended somebody they knew that wasn't really suitable for their job, suitable for what the guy wanted. They didn't have the experience. They're in the security business, but they're not in the close protection business. They might do investigations, but again, what type of investigations do they do? Are they doing matrimonial? Are they looking for missing cats? What are they doing? So this is where, when you're dealing with clients, if they've had a bad experience with security personnel in the past, close protection personnel, they're going to tar you with the same brush. This is where you have to make it clear to them through, again, this is where the little trick comes in. You have to judge their experience and work out how they're judging you. So you have to put your feelers out with these people and see their perspective of security. How do they understand what close protection is? Or have they just dealt with the security guards of the world? Once you judge their experience, then you can start tailoring things towards them and gear your, if you want to call it a sales pitch, gear your sales pitch and gear the conversation towards educating that client into the realities of the close protection world, or why they need serious security, and the man guarding world. Or if they've been dealing with private investigators in the past, okay, what were the problems they had in the past, and how do they see you helping them, etc. And generally, if people will highlight the problems they had in the past, then you can work out how to educate them on what went wrong and how you can do things differently. Even from a social point of view and other business perspective, as I said, you're going into a lot of places, especially if you're a stranger, if you're a foreigner, people judge you by their perspectives. If they've got very limited life experience, and these days, if all their life experience is coming from social media, you can take it, their brain is not going to be particularly, how can I put it, their perspectives might be a little bit off. So this is where you always must take into consideration whoever you're dealing with, be it business or social, their background, their experience, and then try to put yourself inside of their head and think how they would perceive you. And if you're trying to sell a product, if you're trying to sell a service, tailor that product to the perspectives you think that person will have. So it's a little bit of a complicated subject for. It's not complicated; it's a simple subject. It's just complicated to put across to people. But in the meantime, as I said, I've got other videos up on this, and there'll be more videos going up in the near future. We've got a load up on YouTube at the moment, Instagram, etc. And my favorite social media platform at the moment is LinkedIn, because I think it's more professional. So follow us along on social media, follow me along on social media, because we have a lot more of these videos going up in the near future. And look through what we've got up already. As I always say, I've got an array of books up on Amazon to do with various aspects of the security, close protection, investigations, crime fiction, etc. And as always, in the meantime, be good, stay safe, and stay out of trouble. And again, when you're dealing with people, try to understand their perspectives of you and how they'll see you and what they'll expect from you. Their perspectives might be completely off, but if you understand that their perspectives of you could be negative due to their previous experience, then you can tailor how you deal with those people. You can tailor how you present yourself to these people to change things from a negative perspective to a positive perspective. So, something to think about. In the meantime, be good, stay safe, and as always, try to stay out of trouble.